I hope you'll forgive me in this week's video. There's no clever drone footage, no clever B-roll, none of that kind of stuff that I normally do in my videos, mainly because, well, that in itself is indicative of the type of week that I've had and the sort of realizations that I've come to this week. And I want to talk about that stuff if I can, because I need to talk about it. I think there's been a few things this week that have kind of made me realize what's going on. Sort of like wake up moments, if you like, and it's really made me realize where I'm at right now, sort of whatever it is, halfway through March, sort of where I've come to, where I'm at, what's going on at the minute, bearing in mind that come the end of June I've got to be in really good condition, really as best I can be, to be able to make it through 3 weeks of riding an average of 100 kilometers a day. And I want to talk about that, if that's okay. I mean, I don't normally do videos like this. I normally do videos where I'm showing training or, you know, I don't know what I'm doing normally, but on this occasion, this is a slightly different video because I kind of need to talk about it, and I hope that's all right with you guys this week. Stick with me because I think you might be able to help me out a little bit, maybe. So let's talk about the issues first of all, and there are a few. It's mainly about control. I've talked about this before. I'm not going to get into the psychology of this because everybody's kind of guilty of this in one way or another. But essentially, when things are out of control in your life, you try and find control in easier ways. It's the same for everybody. And really, it's kind of work and house stuff. We've sold our house. We're buying another one, but it's all up in the air at the minute and it's all really super stressful. We've had the house on the market for, you know, whatever it is, 6 months or something, whilst Bex was going through chemo, and that was a stressful time in itself. So there's nothing we can control about that in a minute, and I don't like being out of control at all. And also work's pretty manic. I'm not going to kind of get into anything too kind of detail really about any of this, but it really is, you know, admin and working on site and trying to split lessons, so you're teaching some on site and some of them are on Zoom still and all that kind of stuff, and it just feels like it piles up and piles up and piles up, and each day, you know, normally I can just kind of compartmentalize stuff. I have to teach, and then I have a gap when I can prepare lessons, and then the list just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So I have to prepare lessons for the next thing that I'm doing, and then I have to write a report on a module, or do some marking, or moderate somebody else's marking, or it just keeps piling up at the minute, and I don't seem to have a minute spare really. And the problem with that is that when I do get a minute spare in the evening or something like that, the last thing I really feel like doing is getting on the turbo or doing a session really, and I really need to be doing that. I need to kind of have that in my head. So there's a couple of wake-up calls I've had this week. One is the fact that I haven't done a huge amount of training. Now, that's not to say I haven't done any training, and I have to remember that. This is the most important thing that I've noticed about making this video, is I kind of went into starting to make this video. In fact, I filmed some stuff yesterday. Anyway, I've got to get ready to get out on this bike ride, and I'll have a think about what I've just said to myself in this shed to this camera whilst I'm out on the bike with Rod. I just need to get my together. But I've cut all that out because essentially I was just kind of moaning about everything, and actually I have done some training. I've gone out and done 3 good run sessions this week. I've done a tempo session, I've done an interval session, I've done a longer run, so that's all good. And I have been out on my bike, and that was one of the wake-up calls for this week. I went out with my father-in-law Rod, who's a brilliant rider. He rides every day. He's retired, he's chilled, He's a great rider, and he absolutely kicked my ass all over North Somerset yesterday, and dragged me over the hills and made me realise that my progress isn't there. Usually when we've ridden down to Cornwall, and we've done multiple long rides together in the past, and we've always been on a bit of a par, and we've just done this, like he's just riding every day and I'm not doing enough, and we've just gone completely different directions. So that was a big wake-up call in that regard. Another thing is that we've booked the house over in Brecon to look for where we're going to book. It's made me revisit those rides that I've got to do, and the climbing and the days out that are there are full on, and I'm not in a position to be able to do anything like that as it stands at the minute. And then there's the fact that I had an email from a race organiser saying this is the date and everything, and I've genuinely completely forgotten about the races that I've got coming up this year. I've got 3 races booked in. I've got Swansea, I've got Exmouth and Bristol, not in that order. I think it goes, in fact I've got it written down here, hang on. Swansea on May the 31st, June the 6th in Bristol, and then September the 5th, so after the Grand Tour in Exmouth. And I'd completely really forgotten about those races, and that I've got some triathlons to do, so it'd be interesting to see how the swim goes. I guess everyone's in the same boat with the swimming, or not in the same boat. That would make life a lot easier if we're all in the same boat. But in terms of swimming, the pools don't open that long before the first race in Swansea, and they're all races that I've done before, although Bristol's format is different, and I'd started these videos about Bristol, so it will be good to kind of cross that one off finally. But I've done all those races before. They're all open water swims, and they're all sprint distances actually, and so the running was something that I really needed to focus on, and I still need to maintain that run, but I'm just not getting the bike miles in. So like I say, you know, it's easy for me at the end of the day just to collapse on the sofa and go, oh, poor me, I've had a really tough day, just drink some beer and get a takeaway or whatever, and that's just not going to work from here on in. Like I need to, like I could have moderated between now and when I start at the end of June. I could have moderated everything I did and had the occasional beer or had the occasional takeaway. I haven't got that option anymore. I've blown that route. I've got to basically try and live and act like a monk. I mean, it's 5:30 in the morning now, which is why I'm a little bit bleary-eyed. And I woke up this morning just thinking I've got to sort my act out. And it starts really with this video of me kind of making the realisation of the fact that, you know, if I don't sort it out now, I won't. And I'm sure there's some people out there watching these videos going, oh, I knew this was going to happen. But it's all about a challenge. If it was easy, everyone would do these things, wouldn't they? And I want to do something that is a real challenge to me. And it was going to be a challenge even if I had nailed all the training up to now. But what I've got to keep remembering is I haven't not done any training. It's just that I've slipped quite a lot the wrong way. That doesn't mean that everything's on this side of the divide. There's a lot of good stuff going on over here. But what I've got to do is just spend more time in this half and put things in place to have that there. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Like there's things that I can't control. The workload is only going to get more at work. Perhaps I just need to be more organised and compartmentalise stuff off. I was saying to my father-in-law yesterday that I don't wing my training. I know what I'm going to do in my training, but what I do is I think to myself, oh, I've got you know, a couple of hours free then, or 3 or 4 hours a gap between stuff. I'll do some training then. I think what I actually need to do is sit down and go, this is the training that I'm going to do then. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm sorry it's not my usual kind of video. It is what it is this week. These videos were always started, whatever it was, like nearly 150 weeks ago. To be accountable and to be honest about where I'm at with everything. And I think sometimes I do slip a little bit into things are going great, and maybe they're not so much. But that's just it, you know, that is life, isn't it? And it's supposed to be a hobby and it's supposed to be fun. And I think sometimes we can take it too seriously, but at the same time, I am very serious about this. I want to do this challenge. I want to make sure I get through it. But the accumulative miles and fatigue and everything are not gonna be able to make me make the end of this as I stand at the minute. I've got to do something really quite drastic now. I've run out of time to be lenient on myself and kind of go, oh, it'll be all right. It won't be all right. I've got to sort it out. So that's where I'm at. I'm sorry it's a kind of pretty dull video for those of you that like all the B-roll and clever shooting and stuff. But like I said, that's why I started the channel originally with my iPhone, just going, oh, hello, my name's James. I need to get the weight off. I need to start eating properly. I need to stop drinking booze. I need to get training, and I need to stop blaming external factors. I need to take more responsibility myself really for it. So that's this video. This is my statement right now, whatever it is, 20 to 6 on Monday the 15th of March. I've got to sort my act out. I guess I'm halfway through the training. I need to build on the positives. No, this side. I'm going to stick on the same sides. I need to build on these positives over here. The fact that I have been training. I need to get these control negatives out of the way. And it's food and drink for me. That's the main thing. So let's see how I get on. Any ideas that you've got, seriously, help me along the way. Anything that you think might help me out, anything you've done would be really useful. Please pop it in the comments below. Give the video a thumbs up. Give me a bit of a positive this week. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and you want to see somebody turn into a monk over the next 6, 8, 12 weeks, whatever it is, not very long, before thrashing myself around on my bike for 3 weeks, then please do. But I've got these races that I need to train for as well, so I've got to factor in the running. Anyway, look, I hope your week's been a bit more positive than mine. It is what it is this week, and I will see you on next week's video. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and leave a comment and help me out a bit below.